Alright, so I realized I can't keep uploading commentaries like this every day where it's like life stories. Because if I do that, then I'm gonna run out of stories really quick and really fast because I already have like a small amount of stories I can tell due to the fact that I really haven't done anything that interesting. So yeah, I'm hoping stuff changes and when I go to high school so that way I'll have like a lot more stories to tell. So right now I'm gonna try and stick to a schedule of one life story probably a week. So like probably every Monday I should have a life story out. And by the way, if you're not, I already said this on Twitter, but so that way you know. So like if you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Links in the description below. And yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna be telling you guys about the time I was my first near-death experience actually. Because near-death experience I told you guys about last time was actually my most recent near-death experience. And not like I keep having near-death experience after near-death experience. I'm not a death trap or anything like that. But what happened was this story takes place back when I was probably about 5. I had never even been to school yet, so I doubt I was probably even 5. I don't know. I could have been like 4 or something. Could have been in the summertime. I don't even know. But this story actually, I will never forget this story. I can never forget this story because this story is actually the day I started calling my dad, because I have a sister, a half sister, and so she always called my dad by his first name. My mom always called my dad by his first name, and therefore I thought his name, that was his name. I thought that's what I was supposed to call him. I didn't know I was supposed to call him dad. But what happens is me and my mom, we go over there one day, right, to his house, and I have a big wheel over there, so I'm just like, I pull out my big wheel, and I'm new to the world because I'm like 5 or 4 years old, and I've never seen an ant bed before, so I take my big wheel. I'm just over there riding on my big wheel like Stewie Griffin almost. You know, I'm just over there, got the keys to my big wheel, just over there, vroom vroom, I'm racing. So I see this pile of dirt, and I run over it, and then I back up, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get past this pile of dirt, and this pile of dirt was huge. Didn't know it was an ant bed, so I keep running and running into it, and then eventually I start to see like my big wheel. It was black and yellow. Obviously, it was black on the wheels, and the rest of it was yellow where the wheels weren't. And I just see the black turn kind of reddish, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought like my eyes or something were messing up because like the wheels just went from black to red. And to be a little kid and you've never seen ants before, you've never seen an ant bed before, you're basically almost new to the world. That transformation from black to red, and it wasn't red, it was fiery red. It was evil red, like because these were fire ants too. And so what happens? They all start crawling on me, and like I'm not on me, but on the big wheel. So they're on the big wheel. I'm like, what's going on? So I roll back on my big wheel, and then I roll back into the ant bed, and I just sat there for a while. I don't know what I was looking at. I just like sat there, and I just turned my head, and I looked back, and the whole big wheel, basically almost the whole front of the big wheel, was basically I said basically like 3 times already. Was basically, oh my god, covered in red fire ants. They were like a fiery red. It's so vicious and evil. I've never seen anything this vicious and evil and destructive in my life because I was only 5 years old. Anyway, so as they got on my big wheel, they soon start to get to me, and I just feel this sting and this fiery tingling sensation. And it's like, what is that? Get it off of me. What's going on? And I'm like, man, what is this? And so I look, and those ants, those things are on me, and I notice it's not just turning fiery red, but the fiery red stuff is moving. And so I screamed for my dad, but I didn't call him dad. I'm screaming by his first name, and to this day I don't even like calling him by his first name anymore because of that. Like I really don't like doing it. So I'm just screaming for him. Say my dad's name is Bob. It's not Bob, but I'm like, Bob, come help me, cause like I'm on the side of the house and he's in the front of the house with my mom, and they're just sitting in like these chairs, these lawn chairs, just talking. And I'm like, Bob, help me, Bob. And he's like, I'm not coming unless you call me dad. Cause like he didn't know, they didn't know what was going on. I'm like, I'm not coming unless you call me dad. I'm like, Bob, and I really didn't want to call him dad. I don't know why. I'm like, Bob, help me, Bob. He's like, I'm not coming unless you call me dad. I'm like, it just hurts too much. I'm like, Dad. But I didn't say dad. You know, I said like a little girl, like daddy. Because I said like a little girl. Because like that's what I felt like at that moment. I was like, just started crying and screaming. And so he runs back there and he sees all the fire ants on me. And he just runs over there and he takes me off the big wheel. I don't know why I didn't have the common sense to get off the big wheel in the first place. I sat there on the big wheel as the fire ants got on me and just basically devoured me and ate me alive. So that was crazy. And so he gets me off the big wheel, and since I don't have any clothes there, right? So I was like basically covered in fire ants too. And this is the first time it happened. It's actually happened to me twice. I guess I'll tell if I have enough time in the story. I'll tell it, or in the commentary, the video. I'll tell it later. But so I run to the I run inside, and they take off my clothes and they wash them. They like throw them in the dryer and all that and wash them. And so I'm just sitting there all naked and everything. And you know, I got a towel around me. And so I was basically almost eaten alive by ants. And then that was before the time that I found out, well, since I didn't even know about ants, I didn't know you could die by ants. But then later on I found out that you can die from being poisoned by ants. And if you heard that, that was my phone going off. I put it on vibrate, so yeah, I remember that. Anyway, so you can die from being poisoned by fire ants. I didn't know that, but man, they left, they messed me up. I was covered in just fire ant marks. Anyway, the second time this happened to me, when I was a bit older, I think I was in 6th grade when it happened. Me and my friend were wrestling, and we were in the front yard, and he speared me, right? I don't know if you ever seen WWE, but if you've seen WWE, then you can almost imagine this, right? So he gets to the corner of the yard while I'm on the ground, and I'm getting up. As I'm getting up, he runs out of nowhere and spears me, and I fall into an ant bed. I'm just laying there because I'm trying to play it off, right? Because we're acting like real WWE wrestlers because, you know, it's not real, so we got to play it off. So I'm playing it off like I'm actually hurt. And I know where I actually just feel a bunch of stings across my, from my shoulders, from left to right of my shoulders. And I'm just feeling this sting. And I get up and I run inside the house and I take my shirt off. And I just see like all these ants. So I just start taking my shirt and hitting my back. And then I put some alcohol on it. It got a little bit better. It wasn't that cool. Wasn't good at all. So, you know, those fire ants basically tore me up. But I went back out there and I finished that match. And I won that match. But, yeah, so I've basically had a bad experience with fire ants. And, I don't know why. And to this day, too, I still have, kind of not those bumps, but, I have little signs of those bumps across my shoulder. Mostly on my left shoulder. Because, I don't know. I landed left shoulder first, I guess. That's why. But, yeah. So, I don't know why either. Because, when the fire ants went away and then the bumps gone down, they were liquidy pus bumps. So I was like, wow, that's weird. And so ever since this day to this day, I still have those marks that show that they were there at one point, which is weird. And again, my phone's going off because I didn't answer the text message the first time. Anyway, so it just shows on there. It's but I don't even know how to explain it, but it's on there, but it's alright. It's not really there, but it's there. I don't know how to explain it, but whatever. It's been AceRoyalGaming, and I'm out because it's in the commentary. By the way, real quick. Go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. It's at AceRoyalGaming, and my link's in the description below. And game winning kill. I'm out.